We were trying any symptoms, we just want to make sure that.
Good. Good morning, everyone, or good morning, good evening. Everyone, I'd like to call this meeting to order 7 o'clock. Having said that, I'll read the acknowledgement of First Nations. The mayor and council wishes to acknowledge the town of Fort Smith is located within the Treaty 8 territory. The Treaty 8 authority encompasses of traditional homelands of Salt River First Nations, Smith Landing First Nations, and the indigenous Métis people of Fort Smith. These nations have maintained stewardship over their sacred lands throughout the generations. We honor their knowledge, teachings, traditions, and the land. We are meaningful that colonization hasn't been kind. We respectfully organize our generations' history and commit to striving for the unity and the spirit of truth and reconciliation. Having said that, approval of agenda.
We approve the agenda as presented. Second.
Okay, all in favor? Favor. Presentations, we have the RSVP here. Sure.
Yeah, corporate news said I'm acting sergeant, Al Kagger is gone. Moving to the mayor's report. Tonight. The month of September, there's 7 reports of impaired drivers from members of the public. Unfortunately, despite extensive patrols, not located or sufficient evidence to obtain to proceed with charges. Police conducted 7 targeted enforcement initiatives over the month during monitoring intersections for violations, conducting radar enforcement in reduced speed zones, and monitoring vehicles leaving local liquor establishments. Approximately 190 vehicles were stopped during the month during infractions. Several warnings and tickets were issued, in addition to arresting and charging 1 impaired driver who was also prohibited from driving any vehicle on public roads as a result of a previous conviction for impaired driving. This month, the detachment addressed the issues of reconciliation and community engagement by had Constable Alex Ostella make a presentation on elder abuse, financial scams targeting seniors. Sergeant Kagri Yamats took part in a suicide prevention walk. Number 3, the monthly detachment addressed the issues of harm reduction by members have done several compliance checks on repeat high-risk offenders. Notable, the detachment responded to 11 calls for service under the Mental Health Act. These types of complaints are very time-consuming and sensitive, and require immediate attention as to migrate any potential harm. Typically results in the RCMP apprehending the individual and escorting them to the hospital for assessment by medical professionals. Fort Smith detachment received a report of a serious sexual assault. The investigation required immediate release to be shared with various news outlets in order to seek public assistance in locating the whereabouts of the suspect, who was arrested in the days following the complaint. The accused has since been arrested and released conditionally but just for peace. Occurrences for the month. Assaults not including sexual assaults. There were 15 assaults for that month, for the month of September. Year to date are 178, and the current month of previous year was 14. For a total year to date of 191. Sexual assaults, there's been 1. Year to date, there's a total of 10. Current month last year, there was 0. For previous year's total were 14. We had 1 in the current month and 13 year to date. 0 previous month, current month previous year, or previous year total 1. Theft of break and enters. Theft of motor vehicle, there were 0. 16 year to date, 50 for the previous year. Theft under 5,000, 10 for the current month. Year to date have been 50. Current month of previous year was 3 for a previous year total of 59, so we've already surpassed that. Theft over 5,000, there were none. Current month previous year, there was 1 and a total of 3 in the previous year. Drugs possession, 2 in the current month, year to date 6, 0 for the current month previous year, and 3 in the previous year total. Drug trafficking, 0 for current month, 50 year to date, 18 previous year. Liquor Act, 13 in the current month, year to date 73, current month of previous year 3, previous year total 45. Unlawful sale, bootlegging, 1 in the current month, year to date 1, 0 for previous month of previous year, and previous year total was 0. Causing disturbance, mischief, 41, 375 total to year to date, 17 current month previous year, and 495 for a yearly total last year. Causing a disturbance is 9 in September, 65 year to date, 5 in the current month previous year, and 119 in the previous year total. Mischief damage to property is 7 current month, 42 to date, same month last year, and 61 total for last year. Mischief obstruct enjoyment, 25, 68 year to date, 6 total this month last year, and 315 total for all of last year. Impaired driving, 6 this current month. Year to date of 51. Same time last year is 3 for a total of 82 in all of last year. So I think we're going to fare something better on that this year. Other complaints, 55, total of 435, 36 in this time last year, and for a total of 560. So we're probably going to be about the same place this year. Violations for the month were 145. Year to date are 1,258. Month of previous year were 81, and total year previous date were 1,505. So total calls for service so far are 190. Year to date, 1,525. Current month previous year was 83, and we're going to be 1,734 for all of last year. Victim services referral and accepted, 17 year to date. There were none in the month of September. Month previous year was 1, for previous year total of 16. Victim services declined, 5 this month, 17 year to date. 5 this month, 60 year to date. 6 in the current month of previous year, and for a total year of 132. Victim services proactive for 0 for the month of September, 7 year to date, 0 for the same time last year, and 5 on the previous year. Victim services not available were 0 across the board. Restorative justice was 0 with 1 year to date, 0 same month last year, and then 3 years last year total. Emergency protection orders, 1 in the current month, 17 year to date. Current month of previous year is 0, and the previous year's total is 6. So we're higher on that. Error reports, 1 for this current month, 181 year to date. Month previous year was 10, and previous year's total was 219. Prisoners escorted, 0 this month. 3 year to date, 0 current month last year, and previous year's total was 2. Prisoners held non-pros agency, 0 across the board with only 1 in the previous year. Previous prisoners escorted non-pros agencies are 0 across the board. Liquor destroyed, 4 in the current month, 24 year to date, 1 current month last year, and previous year's total was 12. Been a little more proactive on that this year. That's it. Does anybody have any questions?
What exactly, I don't understand what non-pros agency means.
That would be, it would be like under the Mental Health Act. If we detain somebody and then
Non-prosecuted, is that what that means?
pros is our system of tracking
Oh,
things.
okay.
So if it was somebody that was mental health, Yellowknife, and there was no way to get them to Yellowknife, we would try and do relays. Somebody from Hay River to Betchcolor to Port Providence, and try and get them up that way. sort of a last resort way to get somebody to.
Counselor Curtis.
And then I just so on the report, so theft under 5,000, Liquor Act, causing mischief, obstructing of of enjoyment, all those have increased a lot compared to the last. So is there, can you, what's leading that? Cause those are all kind of like minor things, but misdemeanor things, like.
I think the biggest increases on that are youth. It's a little scary, to be honest with you. Like, you get kids like 12 and 13 years old, 14 years old that we're finding so drunk, their face fertile, like flat out on the pavement, and we're taking them to the health center. They treat them there, call the parents, whichever they're in custody of, and I think for the first time, gotta be 10 or 12 years, I had a 14-year in cells overnight for intoxicated and wouldn't calm down, had them to the health center, they couldn't deal with them, and can't take them back home, the grandmother can't deal with them. And I don't like doing that, that's the last place to get in there, because it's not a good place for them to start. But I don't know, the liquor flows freely for them. We've got a few people that we know that do, but knowing it and proving something are two different things. So we're working with our partner agencies with social services to get a handle on it, but it looks like the next crop is coming up. And these kids are like getting younger and younger each time. And when I say they're drinking, it's not, well, they're just a little bit of drinking. I mean, our call is they're passed out somewhere. More female than male. Which is a big concern for us because at some point it's an accident waiting to happen. And we had 2 or 3 calls during the exhibition that was here.
The fair? The fair.
Yeah. So I don't know there's a rhyme or reason. It's just, let's not just have a drink. It's like, let's just get so drunk that they have no idea where they are.
The town to help support those so that they don't end up. What can we do here more effectively to help in those situations?
I know social services is trying to intervene. Like, honestly, I don't know what drives the kids like at that age to feel the need to get that drunk. I don't understand why an adult would buy the booze for them because they're not buying it themselves in terms of that. In fairness, we're having a little bit of problem with the people that are in the tents over there. That's part of the problem with liquor's coming. But knowing it and doing something to be able to stop, to be able to charge them with something, they're not telling us where it comes from. We're hearing this sort of, and I've no doubt that it happens. The grandmother's there is not a problem feeding it to the kids. I'm baffled as a dad why you would do that to your grandkids. I don't get that. I understand if they're 17, 18, 19, but I don't understand if 13. I don't get it.
Counselor Kimball.
The 13, 14 doing drugs and alcohol, or do you mostly just?
It appears at this point it's mostly alcohol dealing with, but honestly, like unless you do a blood test, they don't do that when they take them to the hospital. They hook them up to an IV if they have to, and just overnight and the next week.
Counselor Kimball.
Thank you for that. Is the sergeant moved or is he just on hold?
He's just on some much needed time off. Be back on the 22nd.
You're good. You're good there, but thanks, guys.
Any other questions? I guess that's it. Thanks for your report.
Yeah.
Thank you for your hard work.
too.
You got to stay and listen.
Send you an email. Okay. Thank you.
And there's always a stuff. And you guys, you know something we should know. We don't always hear it, but please don't hesitate to call let us know. It doesn't always seem like we're doing something, but every little bit helps move an investigation along.
Thank you.
Approval of minutes.
Move that the minutes of the regular meeting 09-24 of September 17th, 24 be adopted as presented.
I'll second that. Questions? See none, all in favor? Favor passes unanimously. Business arising from the minutes. Councilor Campbell.
Did Human Resource Committee meet with the senior administrative officer to develop a 6-month work plan?
No.
And thought we had it in a motion to do that. What happened there?
She was away for a while, and got busy, and we just never got to it.
Rescheduling it?
Yeah, we could probably do tomorrow. Yeah, we probably could do sooner, yes. Get that done. Let's go.
But I thought at the time, we thought it was a priority to get it all done, and here we are just still lax on it and not moving forward. We just seem to forget about it as soon as we walk out of this room. No direction or any of the motion, we just keep floating around in space. Why don't we make everybody make a motion, not do anything?
Yeah, we should have got to it. Never got to done to it.
Are we trying to develop a journal of all the motions that were made in the meetings that should be going upstairs, acted on by administration in order to give us answers in a timely manner to complete projects? That hasn't happened either.
Excuse me,
No, that should be, that's happening.
we do have a registry of motions. It's just a matter of having enough staff and enough time to actually do all of them. We are prioritizing and we are working as hard as we can to move our way through them. Unfortunately, no, we haven't had a chance to meet with the HR committee specific to that, just in regards to trying to fill the director position. It's on the list, but there's a lot on the list right now.
Deputy Mayor.
You touched briefly on it. Did you have any success finding a new director?
No, I thought, I would let, one of the HR committee speak to it. No, not at this time. We did have interviews. I am following up with some further information on the candidates. They should have that by the end of next week, and then I'll meet with, the HR committee to further discuss at that time. Maybe we can talk about the SA review at that time too.
Anything else?
Under business arising from the minutes, I do have a briefing note that I'd like to bring forward.
Yes or no? You gonna say yes or no?
Oh, yes, good.
Just because there was a recommendation at the last meeting, in regards to the $75,000 budget for the cemetery fence materials, I just wanted to, remind council of some of the priorities, some of the priority items that have come up over the last, 8 months since I've been here. So When I first started, council had prioritized emergency preparedness, public health and safety within the capital plan, and they've identified key projects related to wildfire preparation, essential infrastructure, such as water and sewer systems. A presentation in March by the interim SAO revealed that there is a significant deficit in our funding for this capital plan, both for this current plan we have as well as the 20-year plan going out. And that we were in severe backlog in regards to critical facilities that were overdue for their midlife retrofits, including the water treatment plant, town hall, pump station, the reservoir, and the fire hall. Throughout 2024, council has introduced additional priorities that were not previously identified in the budget, such as a comprehensive pool assessment and vendor parking for Bonnie Bear Park, aimed at addressing asset needs and improving infrastructure. And these projects continue to highlight the ongoing effort to ensure safety, functionality, and accessibility of our key community assets. The priority matrix that we reviewed in March did categorize the capital project based on necessity versus nice to have. And while some nice to have projects, such as the Connie Bear Park paving project, as well as the Curling Link ice plant, did move ahead, recently you did make a recommendation to tender materials for the cemetery fences with a budget of $75,000. While the fencing project does reflect a community desire, it does not directly address the municipality's core responsibilities of providing essential services, public health and safety, as well as the efficient use of funding. Redirecting this budget towards detailed asset assessments of critical infrastructure would better prepare the town to address its financial gaps, accurately plan for future capital needs, and seize the infrastructure funding opportunities as they arise. Quite often, funding opportunities arise with very, very short time frame, and those shovel-ready projects, or those projects you know exactly what needs to be done, what the cost is, are the ones that you're able to jump on and secure that funding. If you have to go out for an assessment and try to figure it out, make up a budget, you're going to miss that. This approach would prioritize urgent municipal needs while keeping the cemetery fencing project within sight for future resource sharing discussions with the Tabasco Leadership Council. Given the current need and the urgent need for public health and safety projects, I believe it's crucial to prioritize the essential assessments over the nice-to-have projects. Conducting full assessments on large town-owned assets, including the arena, the water treatment plant, pump station, the reservoir, and the fire hall is vital for ensuring accurate capital budgets, effective planning, and readiness for potential infrastructure funding opportunities. Each assessment is estimated to cost between $15,000 and $25,000, but currently I do not have any identified funding for these assessments. As a recommendation, I'd like to recommend that council, by motion, direct administration to utilize the $75,000 identified in the current capital plan to perform detailed assessments with Class D level estimates on their key assets. This reallocation represents the best use of funds at this time, ensuring that the town can effectively provide essential services, manage land use, and maintain community development while prioritizing public safety, which is fundamental to the role of municipalities. Thank you. Any questions?
I'll start it.
Yep.
I'm disappointed that this is brought to us at the final hour. We started 3 years ago dealing with the cemetery fence that had a moment. It was to have them repaired. They put it out for tender, and they took out all the chain link fence and they put in 2x4s. We have been hammering on this subject incessantly. It's not just a recent ask. We've had, I think, 3 or 4 other motions asking for this to happen. I do appreciate the necessity of these other items. However, I think where we are right now, this is our last meeting, and we are not to commit and beholden the next council towards any financial constraints that are not budgeted for, that we really can't act on this tonight, in my opinion.
hear much of what, Council, or Deputy Mayor Kroll iterated there was, I see this as something that should have been done 20 years ago. I know, it's great to be, doing assessments of these specific assets. I question how this information is going to be populating our asset management system, which is another significant priority that's been on the books at least the two sessions of council that I've sat on. Been told there would be a asset management system operational imminently. Still waiting for that particular system to do the assessments, but not a system to manage how you do your asset maintenance on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. I think that it would be more of a priority than the actual assessments. To get that system up, operational. And again, both of these things are asks that are outside our current capital budget, and I think it is a good governance for this council now that we're in what everybody's referring to as lame duck session. Is we should not, as Council or Deputy Mayor Kroll indicated, is put commitments that the next council will have to deal with. So at this point in time, I think this is a great idea. I hope it goes into the 2025 capital plan. And looking at the monies there, the $75,000 going to be, I would add at least another $100K to that figure to properly do this assessment. And I think it's probably money well spent and everything else. That I think is something that needs to be looked at and a hot number one priority for the 2025 capital plan for the incoming council. What's your deal?
Well, it's not very often I say it, I agree with Deputy Curl and Coverett, and I'm all for these shovel-ready projects, but we've been sitting on this for 4 years. And the cemetery, it's a big concern for the community of Fort Smith. I think we have to continue, as our last two motions say, let's get it done. But right now we ask for a motion, put it out to tender to buy the material for next year. Let's continue and try to get this project. It'll be a third council that'll be to, for a little project like two fences. Well, I'm not in favor of that. I'm in favor of sticking with
Councilor Pearson.
I agree with all that's being said here. $75,000, you know, if you're looking at these kinds of assessments that you're gonna do for your major infrastructure projects, you know, we're talking millions of dollars is our budget. $75,000 is peanuts, it's pennies in that giant budget. I don't think that we can, I also would like to know, like, if we're taking it 75, is it just going back into a big pot to just go into something else, right? Like, we know that we have the $75,000, we've marked for it, we put an RFP out for it, we've asked for it to be purchased so that we can at least have the materials here so that we can start the project in the spring when we can be ready. I definitely don't want to be shuffling it around now where it then disappears into one big pot of money that's now not earmarked for this fence. And I agree with you all that we should not vote on this tonight.
Councilor Tucky.
Yeah, I totally agree with what's being said around the table. It's a good presentation from the SAO, but I can't help not believe, while these weren't a part of our regional capital projects, that somebody was not aware in order to fulfill these new projects or whatever, that certain aspects would have to be involved, such as doing an assessment in all our buildings and stuff. And the thought must have crossed somebody's mind that this is gonna take money and search for the funding. I mean, it is administration's job to search for that kind of funding, not to rob it from another project that's been approved. And, this graveyard issue has been a very bad scar on this council. I couldn't even imagine taking the money back that we approved the source material for this. I think it's kind of rather disgusting. Ask myself, voting against it.
That's it.
There's just 2 points of clarity. One, this came up because of the arena, because everything that's been going on with the arena, and it was an ask to look at, we need to do a full assessment on that one. The second one, just to clarify, this isn't an additional 75, it would be the original, it would just be a reallocation, so it wouldn't be an additional financial commitment. But I just wanted council to be aware that there was other options out there.
It wasn't even a mover or seconder.
Declaration of financial interest. See none. Council business.
I move that Protective Services Standing Committee minutes from October 1st, 2024 be adopted as presented.
Question. See none, all in favor?
Just a question. So the firm on the highway is, we have no recourse on this, or there was so much discussion on it previously, I was just wondering.
There's no transgression of our bylaws.
Let's go.
I thought I was under the impression we're gonna get a meeting with the college. The president and, the chair of the committee there, go forward, and see what happens, see if they can work with us on that. That's what we're supposed to have that done. That was the thing to come out of that.
There was no recommendation made.
Then I make a recommendation that we do that. But we were supposed to meet. You were supposed to meet with, get hold of the president and meet with them to see where we come with a common ground on that.
Because we did have a meeting with them, but that was only a half
That
an
was
hour
before
meeting.
that.
Yeah, that was only a half an hour meeting. We could do an email tomorrow. Councilors,
I think what was asked, we had asked and made a motion for our protective services to go to our bylaws and procedures to make sure that nothing that they're doing is against that. But in addition, I thought, Fred, you were going to follow up with your leadership and talk to the president of the Aurora College and facilitate, have a meeting. You're gonna go meet them and you're gonna go talk to them about our concerns from the town perspective. And that was the direction given.
right, and we did have that meeting with leadership on video which they gave us half an hour. Now our next meeting is on this coming week.
Oh, sorry.
You talked specifically about the college?
Yeah.
The
Yeah, 'cause
firm?
we wanted the verb didn't come up an hour, because we wanted a 4 hour meeting with them, just on talking about the college, they only give us half an hour. Those are good.
So what I'd like to see happen, I would like to see happen is, can we get the president, you talk to the president, see if there's a common ground on the subject, not just a half hour. If it takes 2 hours to talk, see if you could talk to, get a chance to speak about this berm. The berm is ugly looking. People are driving on it, right? And it's within our municipality. We should have some say on it. I don't care what happens. We have say on other people's projects. We should be able to say something. When we come to the town of Fort Smith, the sign, our town of Fort Smith sign has never been upgraded in 100 years. We don't even have a light showing indicating it. We have nothing to be proud of our entrance to Fort Smith. We just talk about everything, and then there's a big berm for a quarter mile right now. There's nothing wrong with looking at projects or whatever the college is doing. Put a nice chain link fence or something up there, but that berm is disgustingly ugly. We gotta talk to the president and see what we can find some common ground to go forward. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do this tomorrow. I'll email them.
It's not board,
Yes.
this is the minute.
Okay, all in favor?
In past minutes.
Yeah, all in favor. Okay, we're passing this.
I move that DPA 043-24 submitted by Edward Robinson to operate a home occupation martial arts sport club, Fort Smith Taekwondo Tigers, from lot 222, plant 207, 81 Pine Crescent in Fort Smith be approved.
I'll second.
Any questions? See none, all in favor? That's unanimous.
Move that corporate services standing committee minutes from October 1st, 2024 be adopted as presented.
Questions? Deputy Mayor?
I noticed our minutes are brief, and I know there's been talk that you can go back to YouTube to see the full details on that, but there's not very much meat in these minutes, I'm sorry. But there were several questions asked about the paid list that I'd asked on behalf of Councillor Tucky, and I was just wondering if Councillor Tucky got his answers.
No.
Any other questions?
Are you gonna get them?
SAO?
I do have a list of things to get to, just up in.
Okay, all in favor? All in favor, that's unanimous.
Move that Denise Uhas be reappointed as the representative for the Fort Smith Housing Authority for an additional term from November 1st, 2024 to October 31st, 2026.
Second?
Questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
I move that council direct administration to proceed with the necessary steps under the town's land administration bylaw, including a cost value analysis for future council to review and other legal processes to facilitate the proposed land exchange. This will ensure that the transaction adheres to municipal regulations and benefits both the town of Fort Smith and the Fort Smith Métis Council.
I'll second that.
Questions? Seeing none, all in favor? That's unanimous.
Do we know when that will happen?
Probably in new council.
No, when the
Sure.
cost analysis is going to be.
SAO?
We've already started to look at what the parameters are to consider for that.
Community Service Standing Committee.
I move that the Community Service Standing Committee minutes from October 8th, 2024 be adopted as presented.
I'll second.
Questions? Seeing none, all in favor? That's unanimous. Municipal Services Standing Committee.
I move that the Municipal Service Standing Committee minute from October 8th, 2024 be adopted as presented.
Questions? None, all, Councillor Devils?
What is happening with the skateboard park? Has it been repaired?
I assume,
In regards, it's still the same, we still haven't, had a chance yet to install the security cameras, and that is, because once those cameras are up, then we can do the repairs, so we have eyes on, so we don't get repeat, vandalism. It's a matter of having, IT find the time to install those, security cameras.
Deputy Mayor.
Is there a possibility of getting the repairs done and still keeping it closed, so at least as soon as the cameras are installed, we can get our. I mean, it's still nice out, the kids need venue to go and to play, so.
We'll definitely ask the services if they're,
If IT have a time frame when they're gonna be installing these cameras?
I think they just arrived. We ordered them, I think they just arrived.
Councillor Campbell.
Yeah, if we could even get it repaired ASAP and then just open up staff at the thing. Because it's an awesome thing to have. The community put too much money into it to leave it sit there.
Councillor Tucky.
How many cameras did we have? Don't know.
I don't know the exact number that we ordered. I feel 3 is the number, but I could be up or down by 1.
I know there's a camera that was missing from the seniors emergency exit. Was that reordered?
Questions? All in favor? That's unanimous.
Move that council direct administration to put out a tender for the supply of the chain link fence material for the cemetery fences. After that,
Questions? All in favor? That's unanimous. Bylaws, policies, council code of ethics and conduct.
I move, third and final reading of council code of conduct and of ethics and conduct, bylaw 1059, bylaw of the council of the municipal corporation of the town of Fort Smith in the Northwest Territories to establish a code of ethics and conduct for members of council, whereas pursuant to section 35, subsection 1 of the Cities, Towns and Villages Act, SNWT 203C .22, the council may make rules respecting the behavior of council members.
I'll second that.
Questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Appointment. Mayor Council Board presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Don't have anything to really report, however, I'd like to give my condolences to the Gary family. The Gary passed away. He was a long-time worker at the Northern Light Senior Citizens Home, was known to be a very, I guess, loving and caring practitioner, was loved by all the staff and the people at the home. And I've had the privilege of, actually at the time when she worked there, going in there quite often. And she was a very good worker. I'd just like to pass my condolences. Thank you.
So I also pass my condolences to all those who are grieving or suffering the loss of a loved one. This is our last council meeting, and so this was my first 3 years in council, and I really liked the experience here, even the heated experiences, Kevin. I think they're all great learning experiences for me, and this is my first time in this kind of capacity, and I quite enjoyed it. So look, thank you guys for being my council with me, my first one.
Thank you. Say my condolences out to the Gary family too. And this is the last council meeting, and It was enjoyable, lots of fun fighting with you all. It was great. Not fighting discussions.
It's politics.
That. And then, NWTAC is going to Ottawa next week to meet with a different minister, an NDP leader, PC leader, and housing projects, different funding pots that we could achieve or try to get hold of. That's about it. Thank you.
Again, I would like to express condolences to all those who have lost people over the last month or so, and with you in your grieving process. People, I would encourage everyone in our community to get out next Monday, if they haven't already, and vote. It's a democratic right that we as Canadians have. People in other parts of the world do not have this democratic right, so please go out and exercise. Consider it a duty to good governance in our town. I also have one it's not so good news story that I would like to bring up, and it's to deal with the wildfire situation from 2023. Found out last Wednesday through mid-afternoon that the consultant that was hired by the GNWT to conduct the Indigenous and Affairs and the MACTA after action review was in town for public consultations.
Here?
Myself and my wife, who have been very active in the wildfire review, drove around to several locations where one would expect notices of a public meeting to be posted. We found none. Is this what the government considers a public consultation process that's adequate for consulting the public on one of the most dramatic events that happened in the? I don't think so. Like, I even went around and asked each government leader. None of them had been contacted to be made aware that this public event, public consultation process was undergoing and being taken place here in Fort Smith. Now they're gone, they're back into wherever wonderland that they came from. There was like 7 people that had found out that afternoon about that. Now, this is what the GNWT considers public consultation on the evacuation, the handling of the evacuation by all the departments in 2023. If they consider this public consultation, shame on them. It's an absolute sham. And I think we need to demand that we have consultants come back and talk to the people of this community, get their input. Tons of people impacted here. And I know the same process in sham was undertaken in Hay River, where they had public consultations back on the 1st and 2nd of October, and the vast majority of their community did not know about it as well. Feel as passionate as I do about this, call your MLA and tell them that was sham and want the job done properly. Secondly, the next time they talk about a public inquiry, our MLA has to either support it or step down. Not have our our community representative not demanding a public inquiry. It's what happened last year.
I'm shocked that we had that. Did the town get a notice from GNWT? Nobody. Wow. Okay. And it is our last meeting. It's been a pleasure working with all of you. I mean, we started 3 years ago and we had a very brief inauguration. We had to wear masks. So we've made it through a pandemic. We have lost a council member. to a death. We need to regard that. We've had changes. We went through a lot as a council, but I think we've all come out on the other side. I wish all of you well who are running again, and look forward to seeing what great things you can do for our town in the future. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to, my deepest sympathies to the Legary family and to the ones that passed on within that month. She's a very nice person, and she worked at the Northern Lights Special Care Home, and she'll surely be missed there by them and as well as the public. Yeah, it's our last meeting tonight, and you know, it's been good. It's had its ups and downs, and I've learned a lot. I've been in politics for the last 30 years, but I've never been in the public forum. It was always First Nation based, and I enjoyed it. I learned a lot, and I have a lot more to learn. There's lots of that week and stuff, but you know, and I thank council's help for that. There's some things that we did great, some things that we didn't, but that we talked on, but that's still to happen. And for the community, you know, you have leaders that put their name forward, and that's great. You have two that's running for the mayor's office, and that's great. You have options, you know, and I wish all the candidates the best. And they're showing good stuff because they're not sitting at home talking, right? They're coming in and they're putting their name forward, and that's great. And it's all different where they're coming from. So that all adds up to a team at the end of the day. And yeah, to the voters, I thank you for putting me in here. You know, I wish to continue, but you know, that's totally up to you people. So anyway, I enjoyed myself, and yeah, thank you, and it's been a great time. You know, it's had up and downs. That's been 3 times there, and again, I'll thank Councilor Ferguson for saving my life the 3rd time.
Uh-huh.
So, but yes, I look at it. It's been enjoyable. Whether it went rocky or bad, I mean, that's just a job we're in. You know, and for me, I love politics. For me, it's the only game in town. I love it, and I get beaten up, and that's fine. I'll heal, but yeah, I love my job. So thanks for giving me that opportunity. Proclamations, none. Absence of council members.
I move that Councilor Ferguson be excused from the Protective Services Standing Committee meeting October 1st, 2024.
I'll second. Oh,
Second, questions, no questions, all in favor? All in favor, press,
And I move that Councilors Ferguson and Tuckey be excused from Protective Services Standing Committee meeting October 1st.
I think it's the same thing.
no,
Oh, wait, it is protective. It
I
should
think
be
it meant-
community
Yeah.
services.
give a second here. Okay, all in favor? All in favor, press,
I'll need a motion tonight.
Oh, I move that Councilors Pissinger and Bolio be excused from the council meeting 10-24 of October 15th, 2024.
I'll second it.
all in favor? Best unanimously. Date of next meeting to be determined.
19th.
November 19th, yeah.
November 19th, 2024. Next meeting.
I move the meeting be adjourned at 7:55 p.m.
I'll second.
All in favor? Yes.
Thanks, everyone.